This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
Welcome back, everyone. I really appreciate what they do because they look at this thing as art and a creation, as opposed to, let's say, an assembly line of people doing it. I'm talking about taxidermy. And some people are out there and that's what they do. Let's get it done, crank it out, and on to the next one. It's like they're creating a fine art painting or a fine art piece of sculpture when they work for their clients. Takes a little bit longer, but I got to believe it is worth it. I've seen some of their stuff, amazing. And we're going to dig into a little bit more of that today. She's back. Cricket, I love her name, is back with us.
Thank you.
From Leyba Creations, Leyba. Do I have that right?
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep, Leyba Creations.
Yeah, so what's new with you? What's been going on? What are you working on?
Oh, and not not much. We've been busy, so I feel like we're always catching up. So we've been taking in a lot of animals still. Usually this is kind of our downtime, but we've been taking in a lot of oryx and, cats and stuff. So lions, that's kind of the season now. And we've still been very busy taking stuff in, but now we're kind of starting that process of mounting more now that our main season is over, which is October through September, actually through January. We're really busy, and now we're kind of slowing down on that aspect, and we're taking just a few things in now, and we're really mounting a lot, so that's good.
So we're going to take a look at some animals that we haven't seen previously. You guys specialize in cats. We focused on cats a bunch of times. How do you preserve, let's say somebody sends you, for lack of a better description, a skin. How is that preserved? Because you got stuff going on there. You might not be able to get to it right away. So what do you do? Yeah.
So the key is, we may have to work those extra hours, and you have to dedicate that time when things are coming in. That's why we really do slow down on mounting, because all of our mounting guys also does the processing on everything coming in, because that's just as important, or it can be more important for the lifelong longevity of your mount. And as things are coming in, we process it right away in our shop. So I know there's a lot of places that will freeze things and then get to it later. And we just don't do that here, because that just tends to cause more problems, and then problems uprise. So we like to process everything immediately. So if something comes in frozen or fresh, we thaw it out or do it that day. We have to turn basically everything inside out, which the ears itself are inside out, and all the meat is taken off, and from the face and the lips and the nose. And you really got to know how to do that, because you got to know how much to leave, how much to thin. And then we do a lot of our thinning right away versus when it comes back from the tannery. So part of it's already done. And salting's a very important process. If you don't salt good and go over your animals really well, you lose pigment and color into the animal, especially on the face, and you don't want any hair loss. So it's really important how things are taken care of immediately in your shop.
Wow. Okay. The salting thing. Tell me about that.
So we use like a stock salt, which there's cheaper versions of the salt as well. But we use a brand which is really hard to find in our area, and it's a Stockman's brand. It's called. It's a lot thinner and finer, and we travel a ways to get it because it's worth it. It penetrates through the hides better. You can salt easier than that heavier, thicker hide. But it's basically a stock salt for livestock. You don't want any red in it or anything like that. It's a pure salt, but we use a fine salt.
Can we look at a different animal that we haven't seen before?
Absolutely.
Cool. So yeah, we're going to share a screen. So Cricket can bring that up here, but if you ever want to check them out, it's LebyCreations.com.
Let's see if I get this right.
There we go.
Can you see me?
Screen sharing has started. I haven't
Perfect.
seen the screen. There we go.
Perfect. Can you see it?
Yep.
Awesome.
And
That
I
sounds
just
great.
want to
So-
clarify. I'm thinking back. I don't know if I said it wrong, but it's Leyba creations.com.
notice.
Yeah. Okay. Just double checking there.
That's awesome. Okay, so we're going to our gallery right now.
Okay.
Let's see if that works. Let's see. So here's our gallery. So on top of our cats, the next one of the bigger things that we do, we get a lot of elk in. We get 100 to 150 elk on mounting a year. So we do go through, we specialize in elk. So, and we have some really good taxidermists that are incredible on elk. So let's see. I think my internet's a little slow. And then we can we do a lot of specialization in every mount. So once we get in here, I can show you some of the.
And we're looking at elks today.
I can pull up elk. That we do a lot of different things. Like here in our gallery, of course, I got the lions and cats first, and then our elk, and then our deer, our bears, antelope and sheep, and then exotics as well. So I mean, and then we go the fur bears, buffalo and moose, and
Gotcha.
then kind of the like the Europeans and horn mounts and stuff. Let's see if I can reload.
So
this.
I'm looking here at them, and I'm just amazed at the. What do you do with the antlers? I never even thought about that. How does that work?
Yeah. So, like if you look at this first picture that we have here, this elk scores, well over 300. Those horns are heavy. We put some lags and some really good screws into the base, which is the skull, and that's cut off from the larger part of the skull, but there's still a small piece there, right? So then we put that onto the mannequin, which has a board on there to basically put everything on it and screw it down. And then we bondo and plaster and clay. So you have no wiggle room. But a lot of these, if you look, and they're called detachables, a lot of these elk here that are the bigger elk, because it's hard to get in your house, we do detachables, and you can't tell it. There's a rod that goes up inside this antler, and you just slip it right on, and you can't tell the difference. So we do a lot of detachables. This first one is a full sneak 45, which is one of our favorites. We did a switch out head on that, which costs more, but the heads are a lot prettier on the switch out heads. So we put that extra amount on there because it's worth having that better detail on each and every one. And then we, if you look at the second one, where is a pedestal, which we do a lot of pedestals. We really like the natural look where it has a log attached, and we have to build everything to fit that elk. That's where it comes in, where it's real unique. You don't see that same habitat anywhere. And we like that real bright eye look, ears forward on our semi sneaks. And that middle one there, it's the semi sneaks have the head a little higher and ears forward. And that's kind of one of our favorite looks too.
So I think I heard you say before, Cricket, that you use the skull.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think you've ever said that before in other animals. Is that because of the antlers?
Yeah, that's just because of the antlers, because you want to keep that same frame. So you don't want to change the width and frame of that animal. So you keep that skull. So that's boiled and cleaned every single time before we mount those as well. But any lions and bears, those are all artificial. When it comes to the mouth inserts and stuff, you don't want any bone in there or anything. So that is all artificial on like the bears and cats and
Wow.
any life sizes like that don't have antlers.
Would you say because of the antlers, it makes things a little more challenging?
Um, not too much. So I think everybody I it just depends on your species. It does give you more, I feel, to handle and stuff and move around on your stand, especially these bigger antlers. They can be a little tough moving around because you have to flip everything upside down and work from on the bottom as well. It's not just all facial. You have to really work on the body too. I think that the antlers kind of give you something to hold on to and move things, but it's just kind of all a process. So,
Mm, wow. When you said sneaks,
uh-huh.
can you define that?
Yeah. So we go through with every single customer on position and head position, height, all of that. So the first elk you see here, that head is below the shoulder blade. So we call those full sneaks. And that is where the head is down and it has a look of like sneaking through, where it's fully sneaking through. And then we describe as our semi sneaks, where the head's slightly above the shoulder blade, where it's more an alert look. It's not a full alert, because we're not really a fan of an alert pose, because it kind of gives more of like, we call it the deer in the headlight look, so and straights as well. But we really like the semi sneak, where it's just right above the shoulder blade, but it gives it a real nice natural look where it's still up and it presents your antlers really well.
Wow. These look so lifelike. Now the picture's over to the side on the
Uh-huh.
right. On the right, what are we looking at over there?
Yeah, so we built, actually our taxidermist built this pack here. It's called a pack mount. And what's nice about these is they don't take up near the room, because elk are big and not everybody, I don't know about in every other state, but here in New Mexico, we have really short ceiling heights. So, they elk tend to take up a lot of room, and not everybody has room for these bigger antlers. And with these pack mounts, you still get a mount, and it's like it presents an idea of packing your animal out. So we build the pack and we put it on the pack itself, and it goes against the wall instead of having it stick out 4 feet, like a shoulder mount. So it saves room.
So, would this be more to display the antlers in that configuration right there? And it looks like rope.
Yeah.
Is that, are we looking at rope there?
Yeah. Yep. So it has rope on it to kind of give that illusion of it being packed out itself. But yeah, it really does do a great job displaying your antlers, because you get it a little bit, you can set it lower in your house versus if you have a shoulder mount and you want to put it high. This makes it really easy to be able to hang it low, and you can see the antlers real close in detail. And then you get to see the detail of the work on the animal. We tend to not like when people hang things super high. Although that if you have an elk on a mantle that you have a ton of rock work, it's beautiful. But we love it when you can go up close to the animal and really see the detail we put into everything.
I really do. It's pretty amazing. Huh? You know what I keep doing? I'm looking at your screen. I'm trying to click the links.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, yeah, this is great. Let me see another one. Let me see. So I got to go, refer back to
Okay.
mine. Show us something else.
Gotcha. Okay, so we'll scroll down. These are, if you look here, on our left side, these are our open mouth that we really like, and we call them a half open mouth. Actually, all three of these are an open mouth. And they just have a really natural look to them. There's other options for it too. We don't do them as much because these are our favorites. And we really show these off a lot, and it just has a really natural look to it as it's bugling. And a lot of people, when they're harvesting their animal, they'll explain what they're doing, and we try to recreate that. They'll tell us, hey, I was walking through some timber, and when I harvested my elk, it was bugling and it was amazing. And we love to recreate that idea and that memory, because that's when the customer really loves it, and they're just like, it's exactly what I thought it would be, and it reminds me of walking through and harvesting my animal. And a lot of people, they love they love hunting, and they appreciate the animal as well, and it recreates that memory.
Mm. The one on the right, where
Yes.
the elk is on sort of a pedestal, if you will. What's going
Yeah.
on there?
So it's on this pedestal, and we had this pedestal custom built as well. And we have a lot of people that we work with. That's what's awesome, is we get to pull in business from everywhere. And we had a guy build this pedestal itself. He did an amazing job. And then we customized the height, because this elk, you could only fit, I believe it was like a 9-foot ceiling. So you have to be able to fit your elk in your house. We have to discuss how high your ceiling height is and stuff. And like, we put some elk feet and tracks in the back of it, just to kind of make that back pop more,
Mm.
with some habitat. And yeah,
Super.
it really makes it pop.
I'm going to say this, with those tracks that you put in there, that's where the artistic portion of what you do comes in. I mean, it really, like, who would ever think of that? It's really unique. How does somebody ship those antlers to you?
Yeah, so we get stuff shipped into us all the time. A lot of people can FedEx or UPS stuff overnight.
Wow.
And then we've also got some shipping companies that only ship taxidermy, and they do pickups as well as ship our customers' stuff out and our clients' work. They pick up stuff for us all the time, because if it needs to stay frozen, it's really important to watch that. It's not easy for to keep that frozen and watch it the whole time. And when you tend to ship UPS, it can go bad. So we use our taxidermy shipping companies a lot.
I'm getting now what you're saying with the mouth half open, because it could be closed, or it could be in a stance where the mouth is open, and maybe there's a pivotal moment that you're recreating. But where it's just half open, it's almost subtly stated, but it's realism that comes into play with that. Super cool. Really cool.
It does change the full look of the animal. And it's funny how, like, even with the cats or any of the animals, you can alter that head slightly up more where it levels a jaw out. It really does change the look a lot, just by a little bit of altering, which we do quite a bit of here. Like, most of our life sizes, even on our bears, 99% of the time something is moved on them. The arms, the head, the turn, something is moved.
I know that your husband does a lot of this work along with your team. Does he get excited, when something new comes in, or, does he share with you, oh, wait, we got to insert name of animal in today, and, this is what I'm thinking. What are you guys thinking? Is that kind of the process that goes on there?
Absolutely. We, especially if, like, we get a really big cat in or something that we know that's going to be really unique, or kind of out of the box of the mounts or something, or we're getting ready to do a life-size elk here pretty quick. And it's going to be a big process on that one, because we're kind of building a whole scenery with this elk, including with a cat, maybe possibly a bear. And we're kind of incorporating everything to build a story. And we're real excited for it, because we've got to build this memory and this story, and we kind of prepare for that. And my husband does a lot of that, where he thinks about what's going to happen, how the look is. And me and him work together a lot, because I talk to the customers more, and I deal with what their idea. And then I build this, memory, basically, or idea of what they're wanting. And I kind of go with Lucas, and we sit down and we spend a lot of time on that, on what the customers' ideas are and what their expectations are. And we work a lot together doing that. So
when somebody announces, either through the website, a phone call, an email, that they have an animal, they want it mounted, do they tell you kind of what they're looking for, or do you work with them, sharing different ideas back and forth? And have you gotten situations where you received it and then reach back to them and say, "Hey, got another idea for you. How about this?" Just to share a vision.
Oh, absolutely. A lot of, well, almost all our customers, unless our customer says, okay, this is exactly what I want, I don't want anything different, this is it, then we recreate that. But we send a lot of pictures and stuff to our customers. I get their number, or when we're getting ready to mount, even a month before, I start flooding them with pictures and send them ideas.
Wow.
And then we customize however, and then we work on what they're wanting. Sometimes we get a lot of customers where they're just like, you know what, do something really cool. I don't care what it is. I just want something neat and out of the box. And we've done that as well, which is real fun, because then we get to kind of really do some creativity there. So but yeah, we always send a ton of pictures to all our customers. They do get flooded with that, and then we work together, and they kind of tell us what they're wanting, and then we work together to create what their idea is.
I'm sure you get a lot of repeat customers, and it must be just a comforting experience when somebody entrusts you with this, knowing what the outcome is going to be. Fantastic, artistic, creative, right?
Yeah, that's what's so great about this industry. We have gathered up so many friends and family. I feel like we've met so many great people just the few years we've been in business, and it truly is amazing, the partnerships and stuff that we've gathered up, and the friendships, because we've done, from when we first opened, where we've done a few mounts and then they just flood us with more work, which is incredible. Now we're really getting into the African stuff, and the Argentina and so many other countries where we're just getting flooded with everything now, which is really cool, because we kind of like to do different things. And we've got really good taxidermists that specialize in every animal, and yeah, it's awesome. We love it.
Wow. I just love creativity, and the fact that you're not just mounting these animals, you're being creative about it, coming up with different scenarios. It's just that I would be excited. If I was there, it would be exciting. How do we connect with you? What's the best way? Maybe somebody's considering it, maybe, and the beauty is anywhere in the world, the way shipping is nowadays, right?
Honestly, the best way to just call us, or I have my phone number. Call me, text me. I love talking to customers about, hey, what they're wanting, and even if they haven't gotten something yet and they're going hunting, we love our customers to call us and figure out what kind of positions do we do, this certain things. If they're going hunting, hey, I got a bird, can I send that too? And then we say, hey, we don't do birds, but because that's important to know what your taxidermist does, right? So yeah, call us. And then also all our information is on our website. That is the best way to get a hold of us. And then if you're wanting to just kind of see our information, our website is awesome, our Instagram, and then our Facebook, and then our TikTok as well.
Yeah, I say it all the time too. The website, so well done, and you can zoom into things. Like, I love going in there and taking a look at like individual hairs. Like, that is you guys are sticklers for detail, and that's what makes you different. What's the website again, Cricket? It's
leybacreations.com, Leyba. And then, yeah, you can even Google it, put Leyba Creations taxidermy, and it'll come right up.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for the insight today. It's fun. It's always fun talking with you, and looking forward next time we get together.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.